changes are on the way for how the fire service works here in Wiltshire. There's a plan to spread out the number of full-time officers so less of the county is reliant on part-time cover. It would mean, in addition to Swindon, Salisbury, Trowbridge and Westbury, we see new hubs created in Amesbury, Devizes and Marlborough too. It's supposed to make the service more resilient, make the public safer and save money as well in the process. But the Fire Brigades Union is worried about the plans and have refused to agree to them. Brent Thorley is the FBU's branch secretary for Wiltshire and with us. Good morning, Mr. Thorley.
Morning, Ben.
What's wrong with them?
Well, to be honest, we've actually agreed in principle to the hub station concept. It's not that in itself that's causing the problem, it's actually they're bringing no detail with it. They're asking for volunteers for these stations. These volunteers are turning up, they don't know actually how they're going to work or how that work system will end up in the future. And they're reluctant to volunteer. If they don't want to volunteer, then they're going to have to impose it on people and force people to move, which is a situation I don't think either side wants to get in. You want people to volunteer. We've asked the brigade to sit and talk to us about the detail. We've offered them a timetable to complete the negotiations, which we've put a date of the 1st of August where we can sit down with the ratified documents, sign them off. There's a selection process that needs to take place before then anyway. That can run alongside, and we were hoping we would have it all complete by then. So we actually fully engaged in this process.
What's the cause then of this intransigence? Why do you claim they're a bit shy in coming forward with detail?
I don't think they want to commit to detail, because if they put it down in writing, they'll struggle to change it, and I don't think they're actually convinced that their initial ideas around the hubs will work. They had a meeting recently. They invited staff down who were interested in the hub stations to discuss it, ask their questions. They didn't answer the questions very well. The staff asked if the answers they did get they could put in writing. The brigade says, why do you need that in writing? So there's obviously this lack of commitment. One of the phrases they used several times during the meeting was, this is a blank piece of paper. Come along for the ride, it'll be fun. But it's people's work life, and they have to balance that out with the family life. And they're not prepared to take that risk.
But are people being too pernickety? I mean, how much detail do you need when, on the face of it, you agree with the broad proposals?
I think if you had complete trust and confidence in your management, you'd get the volunteers, and I think people would be more willing to step forward. But there isn't that trust there.
So this comes down to personalities?
Yes.
Which it often does with unions.
You say that. We have not brought personalities into it. We think the chief has decided not to accept our timetable for completion because he doesn't trust us. He thinks that the local union officials have their strings pulled by the regional officials, which is not true. We have a system, we have a regional committee, representatives from the branches, the stations turn up, bring the views of the members, a regional official sits on that. We then have to act upon the views of the members. It's all minuted. If you look at our minutes, you'll see how our decisions are made. We would lose credibility so quickly if we listened to what the members had to say, went away and did something completely different because we're told to by a regional official. And personally, I'm not happy that the chief thinks that I would be used in that way. I don't have to do this role. He thinks that I would put myself forward to do this and I would just be used and manipulated and not do what the members want me to do, which are actually my colleagues, the people I work with day in, day out. That is where my loyalties lie.
Reports of waning membership levels with the FBU, is that true? Are you speaking on behalf of fewer people? Are there fewer heels being dragged on this?
No, we've had an increase in membership since the start of our recent campaign, and the only reason that membership is dropping nationally is because we're losing firefighters.
Explain to the layman, likes of me, who will phone 999 and want you to be there just as quick as you can, how this actually, if you get what you want, will improve things in Wiltshire.
Well, we'll have to wait and see to see if it'll improve things. It's an idea, we've agreed in principle. To know if it's going to work, we want to see a bit of confidence in how it is going to work. There doesn't seem to be that confidence. So if they've not got confidence in it, we haven't. I'm sure there will be teething problems along the way. However, whatever agreement we come to, we expect that, but we want a bit more of a confident approach to this. We want them to put something solid down on the table, and we want them to be prepared to put the names to it, and we will work with them and we will make this happen. And if you get volunteers, you're going to get people who are committed to this and want to do it, and that's the kind of staff you want out there serving the public.
Morale at the moment?
Low, to be honest. It's pretty poor. I think people want to see the process come to an end. They know change is coming. I think the attitude towards the staff and our members hasn't been good, particularly at the start of this whole process. It wasn't a consultation at the start, it was a hard sell. But over time we've managed to get the brigade to engage with the personnel on the ground, and it's got better. But, morale is low.
There will be people listening, and some quite rightly might assume, the same old arguments from a union. It's change. Of course they don't like change. We all like to be in our little corner knowing exactly what's happening. We had it all before, didn't we, with terms of reference for fire officers, but you got over it. You still enjoy your job. You still provide a service.
We accept that.
You went on strike, but you came back, and everything was rosy again.
Not quite, but we're accepting the change. We understand that the pressure's been put on our principal officers from government financially. We know we're going to have to make change to fit with the finances, the new finances. Let's do it the right way. Let's have the right change. Let's work together to come up with the best solutions for the service. This isn't about not embracing change or digging our heels in. We've moved a long way from the original proposals the brigade first put to us. For the better. The things we've done have been beneficial. We have contributed to this whole process. The retained firefighters are currently running a pilot on their salary scheme. That was going to be imposed in its original format. The pilot has helped it evolve. It is now better for those that are working it. We engaged with that. It was our idea.
Brent Thorley, thank you for coming in with your views. It's the FBU's Brigade Secretary, hearing from there for Wiltshire. More on this story during the course of the programme. In the meantime, I was open for business. What do you think? 08459 513366. Particularly interested, of course, if you've got some kind of experience in the fire service. You've used them. You worry about what you've heard might change the way that you would need them in the future. What do you think of this hub idea? More in the news with Anna, and more with us on the whole programme as well. Brent Thorley, thank you. 7:13 is the time.
In 1649, to St George's Hill, a ragged band they called the Diggers came to show the people's will. They defied the landlords, they defied the laws. They were the dispossessed, reclaimed.